Most of you know that I've been involved in third-party reproduction, working with surrogate mothers, egg donors, sperm donors. So as I look at what's going on in the world, it's sort of everyday stuff to me. It doesn't really affect me the way it might affect people who don't do this every day. Well, a story just came down in the Journal of the American Medical Association that did affect me. There's a 30-year-old woman who carries a rare genetic mutation for early onset Alzheimer's disease. She has this, and they're able to find this gene in her body. She got pregnant with in vitro fertilization, which of course is what I've been doing forever. My kids are a result of in vitro. To me, as a matter of fact, I always get astounded and offended when people actually have sex to have kids. I don't understand that. They shouldn't do that. They should always use some high-tech form of reproduction. So she gets pregnant, and she has this disease. The whole family has this disease. So she knows she's going to come down with this disease. She knows. She undergoes in vitro fertilization, and they do a test on all of the embryos that are created. And they look to see which of the embryos has this gene. And if the embryo has the gene, that embryo is discarded. It's thrown away. If the embryo does not have the gene, that's the embryo that is then implanted into the mom, or in some cases, the surrogate mother. It's a way of, I guess, determining, and a lot of people say, well, eugenics, determining what's going to be the outcome. Yes, for a lack of disease. But where does this go? You could do the same thing when they figure out a gene. Someone has a propensity to be fat, for example, and they figure out the fat gene, or the Irish drunk gene, or the homo gene, as people are arguing that's out there too. And God forbid, you're now making designer kids. I mean, no one's going to argue a life-threatening disease, but how about the kid with the same technology? It's a little bit taller, or a little bit thinner, or in my case, a little bit thinner and a little bit more hair. But let's say you have a mild case of Downs. Would you not let a child be born? And that's exactly what you're doing. You're precluding the birth of a child based on the removal of that embryo because of a certain, let's say, non-debilitating, non-fatal disease. We've got a big ethical dilemma ahead of us, that's for sure. And this is only starting, because I'll tell you what scientists are worried about, what ethicists are raising about, where these selection lines are going to be drawn. Because you know what this all boils down to? A selection process. And as you look at the history of the 20th century, the word selection reads, I mean, just the thought of it sends shivers down your spine, doesn't it? That's exactly what this is. It is a scientifically based, humanistic selection process. And if you don't think that scares some people, man, are you living in a different world. 844, Bill Handel. This is KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio.
Does anybody really think that with the effort that people put in on cosmetic surgery, which is very common here in Los Angeles, or on all the vitamins we take, to capture the appearance of youth and retain that a little longer, that we wouldn't do whatever interventions we could to actually retain our youthfulness?
There, Dottie.
When there is enhancement in humans, if you could enhance for IQ or some other aspect of functioning, you're already going to have been enhancing animals. They have to be built on that foundation. So the most challenging bioethical things that are going to arise, first, are not going to be that you're going to have some superhuman created de novo, but that you're going to end up having mice that are really bright, or a dog or a chimpanzee with human-like intelligence or with other aspects of enhancement. And that's what's going to be really challenging for us. And I see that as being something that large numbers of people will actually welcome, just as you can imagine with the cloning of animals. I know of advertising campaigns that are being prepared. You know, this is not about cloning, this is about love. In thinking about genetic engineering, people often say, well, we can't tamper with genetics. We're playing God. We shouldn't be doing these sorts of things. But these are the same people that feel completely comfortable in going to a dog show. Go to a dog show and look at the various breeds with their special little haircuts and their way that they're, designed to have this or that potential. And I mean, this is life as art.
Okay, who wants more hot dogs? Ding-a-ling-a-ling, we're ringing the bell. Here come the hot dogs. Here come the hot dogs. Okay, no, we don't get them that way, Parvati. No, stay. But I see you spoil the whole thing because you won't play the game. You don't even try. Back. Good, Parvati got it. You're Latin.
I don't know that the fact that my mom breeds dogs really influenced her choices at the sperm bank or her choice to go there. I mean, it's interesting, actually. My mom stopped breeding dogs when I was born for about 10 years because she wanted to focus all of her attention on me. I was born from the Nobel Prize Sperm Bank, which was founded by Robert Graham. Initially, Robert Graham only accepted Nobel Prize winners as sperm donors, and I think that he really latched on to me because I was the success of his project. I mean, I was like the poster child for what he was trying to do, because the fact is, having a donor of an IQ of 180 isn't always going to create children with IQs of 180, and mine was. My mom, ever since I was born, was in the spotlight of media. I mean, I know that when I was a baby, I was on several shows with her, and a lot of them would have me do all these weird IQ tests to show that I was brilliant, and of course I did really well on all of them. And now, after all these years, I'm just about where everybody else is.